Cool. Next question is, hey guys, question for the podcast. I'm getting lots of value from it. In some of your videos, you have talked about non-reactivity, which is that the person who reacts the least, quote unquote, wins the interaction. I was curious about your general thoughts on this concept when it is appropriate. For example, at work when you are talking with your boss versus your peers or out socially, and any exercises and mindsets that may help one get less reactive.
Sure.
I'm asking in the context of dealing with people at work that I'm perceiving as aggressive, but also am interested in the concept in general. The one concern I have is that if you're too non-reactive, you may come off as dismissive and rude.
Yeah.
So do you think that the person who reacts less wins?
No.
I feel like I don't know that I agree with what I'm purported to have said.
So I'm trying to think. The non-reactivity, for instance, was in Don Draper, where he is calm in the face of rejection from clients, and they say something, and he goes, "Well, it sounds like this meeting's over. Have a great day, gentlemen." And then there's other occasions where he's a little bit off his game, and he goes, "You know what? If you're not going to come in and do this," and he is visibly upset by it. So I think in the context of a power dynamic, I think it is the case often that you see the big lion just kind of sit there while the little cub like smashes his face.
It's in the face of an attack.
Yeah.
So I guess the first thing I'd say, I would never purport that non-reactivity is better than positive emotions.
Sure.
So we should start there.
Yeah,
like the most charismatic people I know laugh very loudly. They're very playful. They make a lot of jokes. I do not think that extreme stoic stone-facedness is the key to a good life. Mm-hmm. I think, non-reactivity is specifically in the face of attack where you feel your heartbeat elevate and your adrenaline spike. Mm-hmm. Because almost always you make a bad decision when you are under the influence of fight or flight.
Additionally, you're signaling to that person. I mean, you can imagine if you're in a second grade classroom and someone walks up to you and tells you you're stinky. You know, you're gonna like laugh and find it.
You're stupid.
You're gonna find it adorable.
Okay, you're 7.
Because that doesn't land in the same way. Versus the signal of when somebody says it is, oh wow, this is true, and I need to be upset by it or defend it, which isn't necessarily the case. You can be upset at something without it being true, which is why non-reactivity is a signal that a lot of people want to adopt because they don't want to be signaling that something is true about them, a particular insult, when it is in fact false. Mm-hmm. So,
but also I think it just generally hurts your decision making to be.
Yes. So
when you're in fight or flight, immediate reaction, heartbeat elevated, you're going to make bad decisions.
So in the context of aggression in the workplace, I do think going slower, taking a deep breath is going to benefit you tremendously. So if you're facing workplace aggression and it's looking like your concern is that what was it that it's coming off as
dismissive and rude.
But in the face of aggression.
In the face of aggression, I don't think that is likely to be the case. Now, I'm not asking you to stand there stone-faced, but I am saying, you could take a moment to compose yourself and then speak not in the same tone of voice. Like if they're coming at you big and you go, well, what I was saying is that, and you come back a little bit more slowly, a little bit more measured. That I think is 100% appropriate. So Ben's point. Not when you're having fun. When you're having fun, super reactivity.
No, but can I give that anecdote from my work?
Mm-hmm.
So my friend is friend is from, we've told the story before, my friend is from, I think it was Russia or somewhere in that region, and he has a boss, and the boss is constantly giving people a hard time, and he's fine. He never has a bad reaction to it. And then one time, the boss, they're talking about doing an investment deal, and the boss says, "Don't be a pussy." And that is a huge insult to my friend based on where he's from. So I would say the reactive response is to shout, "Don't you ever blah, 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 blah." And the non-reactive, I want to give a concrete example. The non-reactive response was my friend stopped. He didn't say anything. He looked at the guy, held eye contact. There was a pause. He said, "Where I'm from, that word is a massive insult. Don't ever say that to me again." And then he just let it hang. And he never got said that. And seriously, and it's like, and there was an age gap. The person who said it was the boss. Like, nothing was in this guy's favor to be listened to. Nothing. But because he handled it calmly and strongly instead of freaking out, he got his message across much more and didn't get in trouble. Versus if you can imagine if he just starts freaking out and swearing at the boss, like consequences for you, my friend.
Yeah.
So that's what we mean by non-reactive. It's not to say it's weak or that you ignore it, but it's to say that you you handle it from a centered, grounded place.
Yeah. And I want to caveat this because with everything that we're saying, there's situations in which the rule might not hold in the same way. So where somebody's being like super, super emotional, there are times where you gotta like, all right, you know what I mean? Hold the phone. Where you gotta put things, you have to come in bigger and to settle things. Generally speaking, I do feel comfortable saying, take your time, take a deep breath. It's going to settle you actually internally a little bit more so that you are genuinely non-reactive, and then speak from a place of the most calmness you can muster in that moment.
I actually say, even in the example you gave where I think, yeah, sure, it's okay to shout, hold on, or time out. I can't think of an example where I ever was glad that I yelled.
Yeah.
I can only think of examples where I regret speaking with so much heat, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So even once you get the attention, in my entire life, I'm blanking on a time where I wish I'd gone harder at someone or yelled with more anger.
Yeah.
Versus
it's fair. It almost just hurts your case.
Yeah. Versus hold on. But then you take the deep breath because you have attention, right? It's like the Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
That's how he tells stories. Like, you get everyone's attention, but then you stop because you have the attention, and then you come from centered, calm strength. I'm blanking on a time that I've ever wished I'd been angrier.
Yeah.
When I told someone something.
Fair enough. Good point.
Hope that you guys enjoyed that clip. If you want to see more like this and have us do more podcasts, we are 100% funded by our generous patrons. And if you'd like to contribute, there's a link in the description, and we'll have one pop up on the screen right here so that we can do more podcasts where we have fun conversations and hopefully some deep ones like this. Either way, hope that you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.